Anthem Vault founder and CEO Anthem Blanchard is here. Anthem, in terms of client or customer interest in gold, is it renewed now that you've got this volatility in the market that really started in August?
Yeah, it did, Dagan. It's a pleasure to be with you. And so it really did. We saw it in August. We saw volatility with the FOMC coming out and being a little wishy-washy then. And really since the beginning of the year, we've seen gold prices go up 4%. We've seen the Shanghai index go down about 10%, the Dow go down about 5%. So there's definitely a lot of renewed interest in gold.
It's a fear trade, right? I mean, people see the equity markets going to heck in a handbasket, and so the reaction is you buy gold because that's perceived safety.
That's true. Gold is ultimately no one else's liability, at least when stored outside of a bank where there's no credit risk. And so you're really seeing a flight to safety, I think, avoiding credit risk, because there is a potential, I think, for contagion in the markets, and that's why we're seeing so much intervention by the Chinese government. I think they're really worried about a lot of cascading debt default, and that's why people run to gold.
Anthem, how about the flight towards the Federal Reserve going to QE4? Wouldn't that just be a wonderful thing for everyone who's loved gold since the last QE3?
You know, I used to think that because historically when real interest rates have been negative, in other words, when interest rates are lower than the rate of inflation, gold typically has done well. But it's been a little bit perverse since 2008. And I think the reason for that is because interest rates aren't really being set by the market. They're really being set by central bank policy led by the Fed. So I think what it's caused is a rapid amount of speculation. I think we've seen a ton of bad debt. I think hundreds of billions of dollars worth over the last 8 years because of artificially low interest rates. And I think that that's coming home to roost now. So
but Anthem,
I think the Fed...
Hey, anybody who's been in gold, though, who bought the mantra of, you know, it's a haven, but it also does well. It does well if there's deflation. Hey, it does well if there's inflation. Well, it's still down 42% from its all-time high of a little more than 1888, and it's off double digits, off about 15% from just a year ago. You burn people enough, they won't go back to the glittery stuff.
Well, gold has been around for thousands of years. It's held its value for thousands of years. It ultimately is passed on from generations because it can't go bankrupt like a Kodak or an Enron or a company like that. So I think ultimately you want to buy when prices are cheap. And I think if you look at the spectrum of investment assets, investments in general are expensive. Housing, real estate, stocks, I think they're all very expensive. Gold is very cheap, as you mentioned. It's 40% off of its US dollar high. So I think it's a wonderful time to be looking at gold, especially with the Fed's change in interest rate causing a lot of credit risk on the table. That's why I'm here in Texas. So,
but I'm not going to live 1,000 years, and I don't have any kids to leave the gold to, just my dogs, and they don't want gold. They want
Your dogs can't
chewy
eat gold?
treats. No. Hey, Anthem, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks, Dagan.
Anthem Blanchard.